So we are live. We are live.
Okay.
So everything we say now is live. All right. Hey everyone. Welcome to the People of Power show. This is the 1 o'clock edition. I know that we are now still practicing our social distancing. So People of Power show will be doing things just a little bit different. We will have people that will be joining us via phone and also via Zoom. And today's 2 o'clock special impromptu show is with the sheriff, Rick Bradshaw of Palm Beach County. I apologize. I have a little lip gloss on, so my lips got stuck. Hello, Mr. Bradshaw. How are you today?
I'm good, and thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wanted to have you on because I wanted to kind of get some questions answered for the public, and just to let people know who may be viewing us. We do have certain questions that we can talk about and certain things that we can't, and we will be staying away from anything political. So I just wanted to let people know, because right now we are talking about the COVID-19 and how that affects the sheriff's office. So basically, the reason why I wanted you on is because when we first heard about this pandemic, people were kind of, I guess, under the impression that things were going to get pretty bad. When it comes to, the media or social media, we were under the impression that we probably would be shut down. Like, we couldn't go out and get our essentials. So we had people, of course, go out to get ammunition, because they were thinking that, hey, this might be the purge or the apocalypse or whatever you want to call it. And thankfully, that is not the case. But there's still now people who are kind of taking advantage of the situation, so to speak. We heard about the influx of break-ins. So I want to kind of get you on to ask you, how are you handling it at the sheriff's office, and how are your people there handling with the COVID-19?
Well, you're absolutely right. People panicked at the very beginning of this thing, and I think that's leveled off a little bit. And there was a lot of erroneous posts on social media about the National Guard coming down 95, and everything was going to be shut down, and there was going to be martial law. And I think that really spooked a lot of people, and that's why you saw the lines at the gun stores. And if you went into Publix or another supermarket, there wasn't anything left on the shelves, and people just kind of went hysterical on. So I think that's leveled off a little bit. We certainly don't see the gun shops with the lines anymore, because people have come to the conclusion that this is just something we're going to have to get through, and if we all take care of each other, we're going to be a lot better off. Now, at the sheriff's office, early on, I saw that this was going to be an issue, so I made sure that all of the deputies, including the corrections people, had all the personal protection equipment that they're going to need to operate out here. So we're fully functional, we're fully operational, and we're going to make sure that the streets and the community is going to be just as safe as it was before this hit, and during it, and afterwards.
Okay. Now, I know that, unfortunately, I think in the last week, there were 2 deputies to, lose their life. I guess in the line of duty, they were both hit with COVID-19. And this is, I guess, what's scary, too, is because maybe people feel like, well, I can do something now because I won't get arrested if I scream I have COVID-19, or I can get away with a lot of things because they have so many other things to worry about. This is not going to be something that they're going to worry about. So I just wanted you to, I guess, give a message out for people who are kind of scared or thinking that, maybe I might get robbed, because people they're not really thinking about that right now.
Well, I can tell you this, that we're fully prepared to arrest anybody that we have to arrest. The deputies are personally protected with the gear that I bought them, so that's not going to be an issue. The public needs to know that we're patrolling all the areas just as heavy, if not heavier, than we were before this virus hit down here. And we're going to make sure that everybody's community is just as safe as it is now. If we have any domestic violence issues, we're going to resolve those the same way we did before. And the bad guys need to know it's just like when a hurricane and they think they can go out there and take advantage of the situation because there's not enough resources. I have the resources. We're going to be out there, and we're going to make sure people are safe no matter what the situation.
Okay, great. Now, that is peace of mind. I wanted to make sure that we knew this, because there are people who really feel, I guess, like you said, I'm glad you hit on the domestic violence. That's a big thing right now. Mental illness is a little higher right now. People are feeling desperate. They're losing their jobs, so they're feeling desperate, and things happen when people feel desperate. So I wanted to make sure that is not something that we have to be aware of. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy English is commending you all and saying, glad to hear that the deputies have protective gear. And because that's another thing. It's like, these guys know what they sign up for, but this is like an enemy that you all never had to face with the COVID-19, with the gloves.
Yeah, absolutely. They're used to, law enforcement runs towards danger, never away from it. We're running right towards this like everything else. So we're prepared. They have the right equipment, and we're going to do what we have to do. And like I said before, we're fully staffed. We're not going to allow anything to get out of hand. We're going to answer the calls for service, and all we ask of the public is just do the best you can. Stay inside unless you have to go out to do, the essential functions. Mm-hmm. And I think if we all take responsibility for our own actions and we do what the right thing to do is, we'll get through this a lot easier. But we're going to be there for everybody. And
you cover such a big boundary because you do have Palm Beach County. So some of your places are not under a quarantine. I mean, we're kind of all on that, but they have curfews.
Yeah, they got a curfew. 3 cities did a curfew. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't enforce that. The individual cities do. There's no countywide curfew, so we're not randomly stopping anybody that's out here. We think and feel that the people who are out here are the essential workers that are going and coming where they need to, or going to the food supply or a doctor or a pet supply or get their pets taken care of. Mm-hmm. So we're just hoping people are going to do the right thing, and for the most part, that's what we've seen. Everybody's cooperating very, very well, and I think that at the end of the day, that's what's going to matter.
Right. Okay. And before I let you go, because I know you're busy and I know you squeeze me in, and I just wanted to give my viewers peace of mind. Now, I know sometimes when we get frustrated and we get scared, people kind of just call you all for no reason. For example, and I'm being funny when I say this, but you might have somebody in the grocery store and their line, they're marked to stand 6 feet, and they stand over and they're like, okay, I'm going to call the police on you. You violated me. Like, are you all getting those type of calls, or people are like just over? And I know you need to be like, you all need to be used for the right things. So I want to make sure that we're not calling you all for the wrong things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's a great point. We've had a couple people call us and say, hey, some guy had on some gloves, and when he got done, he threw them down in the parking lot. Of course, if we see that, then we're going to do something about it. But, please, police ourselves. If you see somebody that's not following the rules, tell them, hey, come on. Mm-hmm. Follow the rules here. All you're doing is hurting everybody here and making the situation worse. If we get some very, very serious violators that we know somebody has the virus, is very sick, and violating the rules, then we'll take whatever action we have to take. But for the main part, we want people to police themselves and just do the right thing.
Got you. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So if someone does though have the virus and they're like saying publicly, I have the virus, I'm going to give it out, that is a 911 situation. I mean, that's a question. Like, yeah. My face is.
Well, we'd like to know about that, because not only are we going to make sure that person does the right thing, we're going to notify the health department, and if we have to, we'll get a mandatory quarantine notice.
Okay. And someone asked, are the domestic violence offenders still being removed from the homes during the stay-at-safe home orders?
Yes. If we have a domestic violence situation, we're going to make the arrest just like we do in every other situation. Regardless of what the situation is out here, we're not going to tolerate any domestic violence at all.
Great. Whether you have it or not. Okay. All right. I think you covered everything. You're used to this. You're a pro at this. You covered everything that I mean, unless you have.
Well, you're a good interviewer. That's why.
Well, thank you. I mean, I know this is, like I said, it was kind of on the fly. And I really appreciate you, letting us hear this so people later can hear it. And if they, and I like to just squash rumors. When I hear things or the public is saying this or that, and we're confused. I'm like, okay, I need to call the source. I need to find out what's going on, and I need for people just to maybe say, "Woosah, this is not happening." If you see something, say something. But if you are in the house and you feel like somebody's doing something crazy, don't think that law enforcement is not going to come out because of the COVID-19. And if you are one of those people who are breaking into people's homes and houses because you think the sheriff office is asleep and they won't get arrested if you cough on them, that's not the case. You're still going to get arrested even if you say you had COVID-19. Right?
You can count. You can count on it without a doubt.
All right. Okay. Well, I thank you. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say, or because, like I said,
I think you covered a whole bunch of it. Like I said, we just want people to act responsibly. We can get through this. I think if we get the next 7 to 10 days under our belt here, and everybody does the right thing, we're going to start moving out of it. But just be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Okay, I agree. Thank you. And people who are listening to you are agreeing. They're saying, thank you, Sheriff, people of power. Thank you. So again, please make sure you share this video later. If you have anyone who is, spreading rumors about law enforcement and they're not ready, please make sure you share this video, because I do have, I have the Sheriff, Rick Bradshaw, who's said everything that I wanted to be said. So tell him my old coworker is doing a great job. Okay. Someone says their house was broken into and the police were there ASAP and made an arrest. So that's great. So unfortunately, we do have crime that's going on around this time. I don't understand it, but it happened. So I'm glad that you all are ready. And I just want to let you know that the public is saying, for you all to be safe, you all to be careful, because you do protect and serve us, but you got to protect and serve yourself, and your families have to stay safe as well. So I want to just say,
let's all do it together.
Yes. So I want to say thank you once again. I'm sure this is our first interview, our phone interview, because again, we had to socially distance ourselves, but I wanted to thank you for being on the phone with me, and I'm sure we'll talk again, and keep, just keep your shares up, your staff lifted as you always do. And I want to say thank you very much for sitting down with me today.
No problem. My pleasure, and we'll talk again.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you all. The video is ending. If you miss it, that was the Sheriff Rick Bradshaw. I wanted him on to give you all information. Again, I'm trying to bring you the people who make the decisions, who are in power, to give you all the best knowledge. So tonight I will have State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg on. We're going to be talking. We have some some things to talk about with the judicial system and how the COVID-19 affects the judicial system, because people have warrants, bonds, arrests. It's crazy right now. So he's going to be on tonight live with me. He's going to be joining me through Zoom. But I just want to thank you all. So again, please make sure you share this video, because people right now are spreading rumors about the sheriff's office, and you heard it from the sheriff himself that they are still on point. And if you need to be arrested, you will still be arrested. So hopefully you don't. Please just chill out. It's not worth it. All right. Thank you, Iris. Thank you, Deidre. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you for everybody who joined. Thank you, Tori. And thank you for your service being an essential worker. So again, this has been an impromptu of the People of Power show with Sheriff Rick Bradshaw on the phone. And again, we will talk to you all at 7 o'clock, and I will have State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg on the People of Power. All right, we'll talk later. Bye.